Mobile phones have really changed the way that we experience life, the way we communicate with other people, the way we get information in our daily lives, and the way that we coordinate. So I'll start this lecture by just taking you on a little history of the mobile phone. And I'd like to start by asking you to think about 1995 and what life was like in 1995. If you wanted to make a phone call, you had to go to one of these places, to a phone booth, and talk to someone. You called a place and not a person. So I'd have to know if someone was at home or at work or at some other phone number where I could call them if I wanted to get in touch with them. And I had to find a phone from which I could call them. If I was lost and needed to find my way, I needed to get one of these and find a map and find where I was on that map, find where I wanted to go, and manually find a route from where I was to where I was trying to get to. And if I wanted to share media with someone, and I was lucky enough to have one of the earliest digital cameras, I could perhaps capture a digital photo, use all of these cables and connect it to a computer, download a photo, and if I happened to have email at the time and whoever I wanted to communicate with had email at the time, maybe I could actually get that photo across and share it with someone. But it was quite an arduous process. And if I wanted to use a computer, I had to go to a big giant computer lab. This is the one that's in the Student Center at MIT, where I spent a lot of time around that era and sat in front of a fixed computer, working on assignments, writing code, doing the work that I needed to do as a part of my schoolwork. But now I'd like you to think about today and think about what the mobile phone has really enabled us to do. If I want to call someone, I call them. I don't call a place, I call a person. And people are mostly available whenever I need to call and get in touch. If I'm lost and I need to find a map, not only will my phone give me a map and throw a little dot at where I am right now, but it'll give me turn-by-turn navigation to anywhere I want to go in the world, via car, via public transit, walking, biking, any way I want to get there. And if I want to share media, there are literally hundreds of apps that I can use to share a photo, to share a video, to show someone what I'm seeing right now. And I can even live stream exactly what I'm seeing to people all over the world using a variety of mobile live streaming services. And if I want to use a computer, I just take out a tablet and open up a keyboard, and I have what's basically a fully functioning computer right in front of me wherever I am out in the world. So mobile computing has really brought a lot of change to how we communicate, how we interact with each other. It's provided this always-on connectivity, data connectivity, access to information, but also a lot of rich sensing. And a lot of what this class will be about is how we can use that rich sensing to create new experiences for people, to enable them to communicate in new ways with each other by using location, by using motion detection, temperature, the sensing of the camera on the phone to capture photos and videos, and have this really contextually relevant services that can change the way that people interact. And really taking computing out in the world and away from the desktop, away from the fixed space. So mobility means a lot for design, and design needs to change to take advantage of the fact that people are out in the world and people are using computing in their daily lives. We're now doing much more than making applications that fit a specific task at a specific time where the goal is efficiency. Now, oftentimes the goal is to enjoy yourself or to enable some kind of new communication. And that requires different methods. And those methods are what we'll be talking about in this class. The broader field of this class is human-computer interaction, or HCI. And this is a field that's been existing for several decades now and is at the intersection of computer science, psychology, design, and anthropology. And the goal of the field is to understand and define the ways that people will interact with digital systems. It started with a lot of desktop computer systems. Now it's moved on to a lot of mobile and tablet-based interactions, ubiquitous computing environments where there are screens and sensors out in the world. And HCI has really been changing over the years. It's a large research community, about 2,000 to 3,000 people attend the yearly conference every year, and it's really been changing. So HCI can be seen as following three main waves. The first wave of HCI was in the 1980s. It was really focused on roots from psychology and human factors and understanding the characteristics of people that enabled them to interact with computers. So, how big should a button be and where should it be placed so that someone can efficiently find it and efficiently click it and efficiently navigate through a system. The second wave of the HCI came in the 1990s with a lot of influences from cognitive science. And this wave of HCI was really focused on tasks and usability and efficiency of getting done the things that you needed to get done in a system. So it was focused very much on lab studies, looking at task completion time and error rates, and these very controlled lab experiments to measure performance. And the third wave of HCI is where we are today. It started around the 2000s and is really focused on creating compelling and engaging systems for people to interact with and understanding use in the real world and how these systems are adopted into people's daily lives. So the research questions that we're really interested in this class are how new mobile services are adopted, how they're integrated into people's daily lives, how they change the way that people communicate with each other and interact with the world, and really allow new experiences. They allow people to do things that they simply could not do before. So for your semester project, what we'd like you to do is think about these new experiences. Think about new ways that people can interact with each other. And we'll be taking you on this iterative path, starting with learning from people, learning and exploring the domain that you're interested in. Whether that be music use, photo sharing, coordination with other people, and really learning what people are doing in that domain today. Using that to inspire some new concepts, building them out very, very quickly and iteratively, and evaluating them with people, understanding how those concepts get integrated into someone's daily life and experience. So a typical project is about much more than just writing the code. For a few weeks this semester, you'll be writing code, but for the rest of the semester, you'll be interacting with people. You'll be understanding how technology fits into their daily lives, what their needs are, and how the new systems that you build work in their day-to-day existence and really help them experience something new in their daily lives. So we'll start with some generative research. We'll generate some concepts. We'll build those. We'll evaluate those, and we'll iterate through that for the rest of the semester. And what we're really talking about here is a field called experience design. And the goal is to enable people to do things that weren't possible before, to experience something in their daily lives that was simply not possible before the technology that you'll be creating as a part of the class. And so that's a lot more than just designing a screen, designing an interface. It's really holistically looking at how people will adopt some new application or service into their daily lives. So from here, the next video will give you a case study of how this has been applied in previous research that we've done, and hopefully we'll give you a blueprint for the work that you'll do throughout the semester.